Good morning. I'm just going to analyse a game from 1858 played between Paul Morphy with white and Adolf Anderssen with black. It's just exactly the kind of thing you would expect from a Romantic era chess. E4, E5, knight F, pawn to F4, the King's Gambit. Anderssen takes, and Morphy develops his knight, the King's Knight Gambit. G5 does two things: defends the pawn on F4 and threatens to attack the knight on F3. So he attacks the pawn. Yeah. The knight's attacked, and the knight comes forward and attacks the pawn. You could play d6. It's just a different game. You know, the pawn can still be taken because it's attacked by the queen and knight. So it's just a different game. But instead, he plays knight to f6 to go after the e4 pawn. So, sorry, the knight is taken, and the pawn is taken, and the knight is chased away, and the knight comes to g3, threatening both the rook and the bishop. Morphy says, "Yeah, go ahead, take my rook," and Anderssen does take the rook. Morphy says check, but wait a minute, doesn't that mean that now the queens will be forced off and the attack won't any longer exist and white will just be a pawn down? Not quite, because the queen is pinned. So the knight comes to f6, check, the king has to move, can only go to c7, the queen comes to, the bishop takes on c7, and the king must take, and then we get a nice little knight fork to regain the queen. King comes to d8, and the queen is taken, and now the bishop takes, and you'll see that black has 4 minor pieces against 2, and 2 rooks against 1. That will say it's got 2 minor pieces and a rook for a queen. That's a definite material advantage to black. So what is white doing here? Is he able to come up with some kind of an attack here? Well, Morphy plays g4, queen g4, to defend the pawn, because bishop takes would be check. So Anderssen plays pawn to d6, so that the bishop on c8 is attacking the queen. You could play here and attack the rook, but then he's going to face a check. So instead he plays to f4 to keep his eye on the check on the h4 pawn, and also to make it so that the knight can't come out to g3. So the rook comes to g8, and now he takes the pawn and threatens the rook. The check is played, and the king comes to e2. If he comes to f2, e2 or d1, then there's a knight check. So he comes to d2 where there is no knight check. The rook develops and the knight comes to a3. I can't really understand why he plays to a3 and not to oh well, maybe he wants to have access to the c4 square as well. If black now plays a6, I understand. If black now plays a6 to prevent the knight coming here, then Morphy can play knight to c4 and he's trying to come in here with mate. So yeah, understandable. So he plays the knight to defend the square on c7. So the knight is threatened, the bishop is threatened, and when it's moved, the knight behind it is taken. But wait a minute, doesn't he win a piece back here? It's not quite so simple. It never is with Morphy. He says check first, and then he threatens the bishop. And when the bishop is taken, he plays queen check. And now he wins the bishop, and he's got a queen for a rook and bishop. They both got the same number of pawns, but look at the position. Look how great the attacking possibilities for white are, and how poorly placed the black king is. He's not going to survive very long, and so he resigns. Yeah, wonderfully typical display in the famous match that Anderssen played against Morphy in Paris in 1858. Anderssen acknowledged then that Morphy was a much better chess player than him. He was extremely impressed by Morphy's play, as we all are nearly 170 years later. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment on my videos. Thanks. Bye.